2. Hey, welcome back to IR Insight Live. I'm your host, Will Briganti. I'm joined today by Randall Hopkins from Nasdaq. We're here live at the 2018 National Investor Relations Institute Annual Conference at the Wynn Las Vegas. Randall, thanks so much for joining me today.
Great to be here, Will.
So I want to talk today about Nasdaq's Revitalize Blueprint initiative, which launched a year ago. Tell us a bit about its progress so far. You've been incredibly involved spearheading that on behalf of the company.
We have been very involved in making the markets a more inviting place for not only companies, but their investors, their employees, and really the broader U.S. economy. It's been a very active year. We've been working on implementing our 25 different recommendations that we've put forward in the initial publication, and each is on a different track, as you'd expect. And we've had some legislative progress, particularly around proxy advisory firm reform, more recently around things like resubmission thresholds for proxy proposals. And I think it's been a real encouraging year in terms of the fact that issuers here in the United States have been very engaged in terms of taking on the initiatives and supporting our efforts in Washington, D.C. With their comments on what an impact it has to their ability to grow, and to have their ability to innovate and to address their shareholder needs.
Thank you for that overview. So obviously we're here at NIRI. We're surrounded by the investor relations community. So if I'm an investor relations professional, how tangible is the Revitalize Blueprint, the initiatives? How can an investor relations professional get involved? But also, what are some of the initiatives that we're tracking in that blueprint that hits directly at their sweet spot?
Yeah, no, it's very tangible, I think, from the perspective of a lot of the core challenges that an investor relations professional has, and that any public company or a company that's considering going public for that matter, that they have around how to be the best public company, how to do the things that their shareholders need them to do around disclosure, good disclosure, quality of disclosure that is impactful to making the decision to be an investor. How to address the costs of being a public company, particularly costs that may not correspond to value that shareholders have. So I think if you look at the things like 10Q optionality, for example, where we propose that, for a company to do a 10Q, for many companies, that's really just a cost that doesn't have any commensurate benefit to a shareholder or any stakeholder really in the ecosystem. Other things would be like the engagement with proxy advisory firms, engagement with shareholders that may have sort of interest in politically motivated disclosure, things like this. So those are very real. And in terms of what an IRO can do to get involved, I think there's two core areas where we find that most valuable. Well, first is to help us understand the specifics of their personal stories, how they're challenged in their administration of their being a public company. I'll let those anecdotes be known. We find in Washington, D.C. that both at the congressional level and at the SEC level, they've been very receptive to hearing how issuers are grappling with these challenges. And so keep those stories coming. And then secondly, we of course do have our website, business.nasdaq.com/revitalize, where issuers can sign up to issue their support and be kept informed of all of the developments that are in the market at each point in time.
Awesome. Terrific, Randall. We'll leave it there for today.
Great.
Thank you so much for that overview of the progress on the Revitalize Group.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining
Thanks, Will.
us. This is Randall Hopkins from Nasdaq. We're here at the 2018 National Investor Relations Institute Annual Conference in Las Vegas. Thanks so much for tuning in to IR Insight Live. For more information on the Revitalize Blueprint, again, as Randall mentioned, that's at business.nasdaq.com/revitalize. Thank you for tuning in.